In this video, I want to talk to you about what happens to us when we see phenomena in the sky, when we see orbs or UAPs or objects which we just don't have a framework for. So my question is, what does happen? What happens to the viewer? I think a main problem today is that when people see something, the first instinct is to take a camera and to film it. And that could be kind of a instinct-based reaction. It's like, for me, it's a little bit like taking a camera is like putting a filter between you and what you actually see. So putting it in a video format or film format as if it would be more digestible then, or it's like I cage the moment through my camera so that I don't really have to process what is going on. And I think that's a little bit an issue, because actually when we do that, when people do that, I assume that what we miss in a moment is there a certain frequency? Is there something that happens to our mind, like a sudden shift of awareness? Is our body feeling comfortable? Because possibly if we just take a camera and we film whatever is out there, we don't even realize that we are maybe in a moment of fear, in a moment of shock about what we are seeing and what we have no framework for. So we use the camera to digest that, but could it be that we miss, that we maybe hold our breath, or that we get very tense, and what this experience actually does to us? Is it so much about hunting the moment of evidence, that we overlook what is actually going on in ourselves? The human mind has always a problem with things it has no framework for. And when we see things in the sky or have encounters that have no reference, direct reference in human history, we simply do not know what to do with it. When we go in older traditions, in native traditions, or we go in Native American traditions, or we go to Asian traditions, to Vedic traditions, so you have a lot of UAP phenomena going on there in the mythology, in the history, in everything that is kept on, and well, just in the traditional knowledge of these cultures. But we in the Western society, besides Hollywood, we don't really have that. So we don't have a framework to put a moment we would never expect to happen in, just to fold it into our mind. We don't know what to do with it. And what does it actually do with us? When we read John Mack, who wrote a lot about UAP contacts and had a lot of very, very serious deep interviews with experiences, some are over many years, then we see that there is always a transformation. The transformation is a sudden shift in how reality is perceived. And it's actually logic, because what we see is outside of our assumed reality. We have no way to integrate it. And I think Hollywood did a very good job over the last years, especially with the Marvel universe, which interestingly goes back to, well, we have John Keel in the base, when we go very back in the Marvel universe, and Stan Lee and L. Ron Hubbard, interestingly also. So there was like a community of writers and artists and creators in a certain time who all went in different ways. And I think Stan Lee was very influenced by that. So we have the Marvel universe, which educated us basically about gods, about the multiverse, about a lot of different concepts and things that can be in a very nice and funny concept. And still we are here and we say, okay, when I see something in the sky, what do I do? What happens to me? And I'm very interested if you had experiences, maybe you want to write them in the comment. What did happen actually to you? So did you have a moment in your sleep where you had, well, just very dreamt differently? Did you start to see other beings, animals, for example, also humans? Did you perceive them differently? Is there a mind shift? Is there a sudden belief in God, or does the mindset towards what or who is God shift? So what happens in you? What happens in the experience here when he sees something that is not in a normal framework? And I believe in the next years in the Western culture, we will have a big problem with that because we lack the cultural knowledge to embed what is happening. And we have to ask ourselves what happens in our body, what happens in our mind, what happens in our spirituality. Some experiences have physical problems after the contact, burn injuries and other things. Okay, that's a special topic, I think. But what does happen with the human being when it perceives something that actually should not be there? So where do we embed it? What changes over the long time in our awareness, in our mindset? Yeah. If you have experiences in a way and you want to share it, please do it in the comments below. I see you in the next video.